Avoid July 26 and 27. Urgent message for the chosen. There comes a moment when time itself stops being ordinary and begins to whisper to the soul. This is that moment. July 26 and 27 are not just dates on a calendar. They are spiritual gates, and only those with eyes to see and ears to hear will recognize what's unfolding. This is not about fear, superstition, or conspiracy. This is a divine alarm sounding for the chosen. The atmosphere is shifting. The pressure is rising, and while the world may go about its business blind and numb, those who are called must awaken fully now. You are not here to live casually. You are not here to drift. You are here to command, to create, to conquer from within. These days ahead carry weight, spiritual weight, and they will press on every unhealed thought, every lingering fear, every unconscious agreement you've made with limitation. This message isn't for the masses. It's for the remnant, the awakened, the ones marked by divine fire. You've been warned not to retreat, but to rise, to guard your mind, protect your focus, and walk through this storm untouched. Because what these days reveal, they also refine. And what they refine, they also release. Something is coming, and you must be ready. Dates are shadows of inner states. What you feel creates what you fear. There is a divine truth few dare to accept, and even fewer are willing to live by. Everything you experience is a reflection of your internal state. The world outside is not fixed, it is fluid. It is shaped, molded, and constantly redefined by the thoughts and emotions you entertain within. And now, in this urgent season, the Spirit stirs the chosen ones to pay close attention, not to external dates like July 26 and 27 as though they carry power in themselves, but to internal states they might awaken. These dates are not omens, they are mirrors, they are spiritual X-rays exposing the condition of your consciousness. For the masses, these days may pass unnoticed, but for the chosen, the spiritually sensitive, the ones walking in divine timing, these days are invitations to rise in dominion or fall into deception. You must understand, what you fear you energize, what you give your attention to you authorize. If you go into these days expecting pain, you create the experience of pain. If you enter them armored in faith, you manifest victory. This is the spiritual law that governs reality. So many spend their lives trying to change the outer world while their inner world remains chaotic. But dates on a calendar have no dominion over you unless you give them power. The enemy does not attack dates, he attacks your mind, and if he can convince you that danger awaits you on a certain day, he doesn't need to harm you. He only needs you to accept harm as inevitable. The chosen are being summoned now to go deeper than surface understanding. July 26 and 27 are not about superstition or astrology or conspiracy. They are about awareness. These are not danger days, they are days of decision. What inner state will you occupy? Will you dwell in fear, dread, anxiety, waiting for some crisis to befall you? Or will you choose to remain in peace, rooted in the consciousness of God's protection, favor, and guidance? If the world is falling apart on those dates but your inner world is still, then you are safe. But if your inner world collapses, no matter how peaceful the outside looks, you've already lost. The battlefield is not the sky, the government, or the news. The battlefield is your own mind. The war is not fought with weapons, but with beliefs. You are always manifesting what you assume to be true. And if you assume that these two dates carry doom, destruction, betrayal, or crisis, then by law, your world will reflect that assumption back to you. Not because the day had power, but because your faith in its power made it real. Spiritual maturity demands responsibility. You must stop giving your power to external circumstances and start owning the fact that you are the creator of your inner world, and therefore the initiator of your outer experiences. God has given you dominion. You are not a victim of time. You are a governor of states. July 26 and 27, in the realm of spirit, will simply echo back what you hold within. If you've planted seeds of fear, anxiety, and doubt, then those seeds will sprout rapidly in those hours. But if you've been sowing peace, joy, confidence, and bold expectation, then those days will serve as divine acceleration for your manifestation. Chosen one, do not be distracted. The enemy wants you watching the calendar, reading posts, looking for signs of danger, but the true sign is within, your emotions, your reactions, your imagination. These are the real prophecies. You don't need to read the stars, you need to read your own state of being. What you feel most consistently is your decree to the universe. You could avoid a place, a person, or even a date, But if you carry fear within, you are still connected to what you believe will harm you. This is why many people escape one storm only to walk straight into another. They never change their state. So what must the chosen do? They must rise in awareness. They must dwell in the state of already done, of already safe, of already provided for. They must reject fear, not because the danger isn't real in the world, but because it isn't welcome in their world. The enemy is not fighting your house, your job, or your reputation. He is fighting your alignment. If he can misalign your thoughts just long enough for you to fear these dates, to obsess over what might happen, he has succeeded in pulling you out of faith and into reaction, and once you're in reaction, you are no longer creating. You're simply surviving. Chosen ones do not survive. They create, they govern, they reign. Do you not yet know who you are? You are not just somebody trying to get through life. You are the very breath of God in human form. When you decide that no date, no weapon, no energy shall prosper against you, then it is so, not because the world confirms it, but because you refuse to let fear take root. This is what July 26 and 27 are revealing, the hidden roots of fear that still live in you. This is a moment of purification. It is not a punishment. It is a purging. God is allowing these 2 days to reflect what you are still believing deep down. Do you truly believe you are safe, protected, provided for, and chosen? Or are you still clinging to old patterns of panic when something unfamiliar approaches? You must stop reacting to the news of the world and start responding to the knowing within. Your inner being always tells you the truth. I am with you. I will never leave you. No harm shall befall you. But if you drown out that voice with the noise of media, fear, based influencers, or anxious imaginations, then even though you are chosen, you'll live like a prisoner. The prison is not made of walls. It is made of fear, and fear is nothing but misused imagination. If you must prepare for these dates, then prepare your mind, prepare your state, walk into them already established in peace. Assume that nothing can touch you because you are held by the hand of the Almighty. Assume that no storm shall come near you because you dwell in the secret place. Assume that you are the embodiment of divine light, and darkness must retreat wherever you go. This is how you avoid July 26 and 27, not by hiding, but by ascending, not by retreating from the world, but by refusing to descend into the world's panic. These dates are opportunities to prove your faith, not to test your fear. When you realize that time is your servant, not your master, then you understand. You don't run from the calendar. You transform it. You walk through fire and come out without the smell of smoke. You move through storms while sleeping in the boat. You hear the thunder, but you speak peace. Chosen one, remember, your inner state is the only thing that matters, not dates, not deadlines, not predictions. When your state is sealed in peace, no day can destroy you. July 26 and 27 are but reflections, and if you remain unshaken, they will pass like shadows. But if you tremble and give in to fear, they will mirror that trembling in your world. Guard your mind, stay in the secret place. Live as though all is already well, because it is, because it must be, because you've declared it so, and that is enough. These days hold the energy of collapse for the unprepared. There are moments in time that carry more weight than others, not because of superstition, but because of spiritual law. Time is not neutral. It is alive with the energy we pour into it. July 26 and 27 are not ordinary dates for those who are spiritually awake. They carry a frequency that magnifies whatever lies beneath the surface of your consciousness. To the unaware, these days may appear uneventful, just another pair of pages turned in the calendar, but to the chosen, those who are sensitive to the movement of spirit, these dates are checkpoints, thresholds, turning points where the internal and external realities crash into each other with force. These are not doom-filled days, but days that separate the spiritually prepared from the mentally passive. If your mind is undisciplined, if your emotions are reactive, if your spirit has not been anchored, then July 26 and 27 will not just expose the fragility, they will magnify it. They will press on the fractures of your beliefs and stretch the limits of your faith. They will bring into the light what has been ignored in the dark. These days carry a kind of spiritual heat, a furnace that will either forge you or consume you, depending on your state of consciousness. If you've been walking in alignment, in silence, in trust, you will feel the presence of divine order flowing through you even as the world shakes. But if you've been sleepwalking, drifting through your days unaware, absorbed in the distractions of this world, mentally unguarded, then the pressure of these days will feel like collapse. It is not that July 26 and 27 bring trouble, it is that they amplify what is already within. If anxiety has been growing in you quietly, it will rise loudly. If confusion has been knocking gently, it will now pound on the door. These days are not attacking you, they are revealing you, they are mirrors for the soul. To those who have fortified themselves through inner stillness and divine imagination, these days will pass as portals of revelation. But to the unprepared, they will feel like chaos, disruption, or even betrayal. But hear this clearly, the collapse is not the enemy, the collapse is the classroom. The unprepared will cry out, "Why is this happening to me?" While the awakened will say, "Thank you for showing me what needed to be rebuilt." The collapse is not punishment, it is purification. It is the removal of what is not rooted in truth. These dates have been charged with energy not by the stars, but by the collective unconscious, the spiritual weight of this moment in history. We are at a pivot point. Globally, spiritually, individually, there is a shift occurring, and when energy shifts, only those who have been standing on inner truth remain unmoved. Everyone else gets swept away by panic, drama, and illusion. This is why you must be spiritually prepared, not outwardly strong, but inwardly grounded. You can't fake stability on days like these. You can't perform peace. You must have built it already within the sanctuary of your mind, and building that peace does not happen overnight. It comes from days, weeks, and months of choosing faith over fear, silence over noise, vision over reaction. You don't wait for the storm to arrive to decide you need a foundation. By then, it's too late. Preparation is a lifestyle, not an event, and this message is not to scare you. It is to awaken you. The chosen are not told to avoid these days out of fear. They are told to avoid entering them casually, unaware, disconnected. Because to enter days like July 26 and 27 without intention is to step into a spiritual current without a rudder. And without inner direction, you will be tossed and turned by whatever energy is dominant in the atmosphere. These days may bring sudden changes, unexpected revelations, emotional turbulence, not because God is punishing, but because truth is revealing. What was hidden is being pulled up. What was ignored is now shouting. And if your foundation is built on assumptions, illusions, or ego, then these days will feel like everything is falling apart. But what if that's the grace of it all? What if the collapse is sacred? What if the breakdown is your breakthrough disguised? What if July 26 and 27 were chosen not to destroy you but to awaken you? You see, God does not allow anything to fall apart unless it was never meant to last. The shaking is not against you. It is for you, to cleanse your mind, to clarify your path, to shatter the illusion of safety you had built around things that were never secure to begin with. Some relationships may dissolve, some beliefs may crack, some plans may unravel, and all of this will feel like loss until you realize it was liberation. The collapse comes to strip away what cannot stand in the new season, and that is a blessing, but only those with spiritual vision can see it. To everyone else it looks like suffering. The unprepared cling to what is falling apart. The chosen surrender to what is being rebuilt. The difference is awareness. The difference is inner stillness. You must ask yourself, what have I built my peace upon? Is it the approval of others? Is it money? Is it familiarity? Is it routine? Because if your peace comes from anything that can be touched, moved, or taken, then it is not real peace, and these dates will reveal that, not to shame you, but to invite you to build on something higher. God wants your foundation to be unshakable, and to create that, He sometimes allows what is shakeable to fall away. That's the message of July 26 and 27. Not fear, but refinement, not collapse, but construction, not judgment, but justice. You must step into these days as one who governs their world, not as one reacting to it. You must become the cause, not the effect. The chosen ones don't wait to see what day brings. They decide in advance what they will carry into it. And if they carry fear, they will multiply fear. But if they carry peace, then peace shall follow them all their days. Don't wait for something to go wrong to start praying. Don't wait for confusion to remember your vision. Enter these days clothed in awareness, and they will not destroy you. They will elevate you. The chosen are not called to escape. They are called to endure and overcome. So if you feel the pressure rising, give thanks. It means you are close to transformation. It means the old structure is giving way to something divine. You are not collapsing. You are shedding. You are not breaking. You are breaking through. The world may panic on those days, but you, child of spirit, you will walk in peace that makes no sense to the natural mind, and when others ask, "Why aren't you afraid?" you will smile, not arrogantly, but knowingly, and say, "Because I was prepared." That is the power of spiritual alignment. That is what separates the chosen from the casual. You will feel what others feel, but you will respond differently. You will witness the collapse, but you will interpret it as an invitation to rise. So do not dread these days. Anticipate them. Use them. Let them be a mirror, a flame, a tool. Enter them intentionally. Guard your mind. Watch your thoughts. Speak only life. And above all, refuse to collapse with the world. You are not here to crumble. You are here to carry light, and when the world sees that light, steady and undimmed through the storm, they will know you are chosen. This is not a warning, it's a revelation of conscious power. What appears to be a warning to the ordinary mind is, to the awakened soul, a coded invitation from the divine. July 26 and 27 are not merely marked in red for danger. They are highlighted in gold for revelation. And while many will hear this message and respond with panic, the chosen will hear it and remember who they are. These days are not about avoiding doom, they are about remembering dominion. This is not prophecy of disaster, but a call to awareness. God is not shaking you to scare you. He is shaking the illusion so that truth may emerge from the rubble. The days ahead are not enemies to be avoided, but mirrors reflecting your inner state. For what is time, if not a series of moments molded by consciousness? To fear a day is to forget the authority given to you by God, the Creator who shaped you in His image, not to bow to the calendar, but to rule over it by your inner assumptions. This is why you must rise now, not with trembling, but with quiet power. You must understand, this message is not about dates, it is about states. The outer world is simply a canvas painted by the hues of your imagination. And if you enter these days with fear in your mind, you grant fear access to your life. But if you enter clothed in peace, girded in vision, rooted in unwavering faith, then the day must bend to your inner decree. July 26 and 27 are neutral in themselves. The meaning they carry depends entirely on what you believe about them. This is the law. What you assume to be true creates the reality you step into. The warning, then, is not external. It is internal. It is a voice within that whispers, "Watch your thoughts, chosen one, guard your gates." What you permit within will be seen without. So many are waiting for signs, scanning the skies, checking the news, worried about what might happen. But those who truly walk in spiritual power understand that the only sign that matters is the state you carry. You cannot manifest peace while obsessing over chaos. You cannot live in divine protection while fearing human attacks. The contradiction in your consciousness is what causes instability in your world. July 26 and 27 are revealing this contradiction, not as punishment, but as revelation. They are exposing the split within you. One part of you says, "I trust God," while another quietly whispers, "But what if this time He doesn't show up?" It is this whisper that must be confronted. It is this subtle doubt that must be cast out, because power is not found in partial faith. Power flows through unwavering alignment. The chosen ones are not merely those who know the truth. They are those who live it when it costs them everything. So, when you hear the phrase "avoid July 26 and 27, do not run into hiding, run into alignment. Avoid the fear, not the date. Avoid the distraction, not the moment. Avoid the reaction, not the opportunity. These days are not your enemy. They are stages, and your awareness is the performer. What you choose to express within will be reflected without. Do you not yet see? You are not at the mercy of circumstances. You are the maker of meaning. You are the one writing the script. God has placed divine power in your imagination, and now He is asking, what will you do with it? Will you use it to create another cycle of fear, stress, and survival? Or will you rise above and choose a higher vision, one where these days become pivot points into greater awareness, deeper power, and richer peace? The world will not understand this. The world wants forecasts and facts, threats and timelines. But the chosen live by a higher law. It is done unto you according to your belief. So what do you believe about these days? If you believe they hold power over you, they will. If you believe that God within you is greater than anything outside of you, then nothing on those days can touch you. Not Because the danger isn't real, but because your alignment is stronger. This is what it means to walk by faith and not by sight. Faith does not deny reality, it redefines it. Faith looks at a date marked with fear and says, "No weapon formed against me shall prosper." Faith hears whispers of collapse and responds, "All things work together for my good." Faith does not react, it creates, and this is what must be remembered now. The urgency of this message is not about external events, it's about internal preparation. You must settle once and for all who you are, not what people say you are, not who fear tells you you are, but who God declared you to be when he breathed life into you. You are not weak, you are not a victim, you are not wandering through time waiting for something to happen. You are a chosen vessel, and the kingdom of God is within you. That kingdom is your fortress. That awareness is your shield. So when July 26 and 27 arrive, they will not find you anxious, distracted, or afraid. They will find you seated, still, and sovereign. They will find you speaking life over your environment. They will find you visualizing your highest reality. They will find you blessing others while the world curses the hour, because you know, truly know, that no day holds more power than the one who governs all days, and that one lives in you. Let this truth burn away the fog of fear. Let it wash over every corner of your consciousness. Let it become your default state, so deeply rooted that not even sudden change can shake you, because that's what these days are truly about, testing your roots, and not to destroy you, but to reveal to you just how unmovable you've become. So rise, chosen one, rise into your full authority. You are not here to be warned. You are here to be awakened. You are not here to run. You are here to reign. July 26 and 27 are your proving grounds, not in the eyes of the world, but in the mirror of your soul. When these days come, the question will not be what happened. The real question will be, what did you create? And your answer, if you've been walking in truth, will be this: I created peace, I created vision, I created stability, I created light. And that, beloved, is all that matters. Seal your mind. What you accept, you attract. There is a sacred gate that determines the course of your entire life. It is not your front door, not your job title, not the city you live in, nor the people who surround you. It is your mind. Your mind is the portal through which everything flows. Fear or faith, peace or panic, success or stagnation. And in seasons like the one now approaching, on days like July 26 and 27, your mind becomes the battleground where the war is either won or lost before anything ever shows up in your physical world. The chosen are not asked to fear these dates. They are asked to protect their consciousness during these hours of heightened sensitivity, because what you accept into your inner world is what you authorize in your outer one. This is the law. You attract not what you desire with fleeting hope, but what you accept with persistent awareness. So ask yourself, what have I allowed to take root in my imagination? What thoughts have I entertained? What visions have I nurtured? For the harvest you will walk into on July 26 and 27 will not be a random outcome, but the direct reflection of seeds you've already sown. Seal your mind, chosen one. Guard it like a fortress, not with fear, but with wisdom. Not with paranoia, but with divine precision, because the enemy does not come crashing in with violence. He comes whispering in suggestion. He doesn't need to destroy your life if he can't slip a single thought past your awareness and let you destroy it yourself. He knows that one unchecked thought of doubt, fear, jealousy, or hopelessness, if watered with emotion and attention, becomes a magnet that pulls in circumstances to match. That is why these coming days are so pivotal. Not because of what the world might throw at you, but because of what you might unconsciously agree with. You must understand, agreement is the foundation of creation. What you mentally consent to becomes your reality, even passively, even silently, even if you didn't mean it. If you dwell on it, you marry it. If you entertain it, you empower it. That is why the true battle of the chosen is internal. While the world fights in flesh, the awakened fight in consciousness. They go within, they cleanse the mental screen, they silence the storm, they reject every image, idea, and impression that contradicts the promise of peace, protection, and purpose. You are not a sponge. You are not here to absorb every emotion, news update, or atmosphere. You are here to govern. You are here to command. You are here to choose deliberately what you believe, what you see in your mind's eye, and what you allow to live in the sanctuary of your awareness. And now more than ever, that sanctuary must be sealed, because July 26 and 27 will act like magnifying glasses. They will not create new problems. They will enlarge what's already been growing unnoticed. If you've been secretly harboring resentment, worry, confusion, or fear, these days will expose it, not to punish you, but to push you into transformation. But if you are unprepared, you will panic. You will blame the day, the news, the people around you, and in doing so, you will miss the opportunity for elevation. These days are not your enemy, they are your mirror. They come not to harm you, but to invite you into mental mastery, to ask you, what are you truly believing about yourself, about God, about what's possible? Because what you truly believe, not what you pretend to believe, creates the atmosphere you live in. If you believe you are vulnerable, the world will reflect situations that affirm your fear. If you believe you are protected, the world will part like the Red Sea and make way for your peace. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are willing to accept as true. So be intentional, be precise, be ruthless in what you allow. The chosen are not casual about their minds. They do not scroll endlessly, watch fear-based media, or entertain the voices of panic and doubt. They are selective, they are focused, they are sealed, they speak life over themselves when no one else does, they rehearse victory when the atmosphere suggests failure, they visualize divine outcomes while the world prepares for collapse. Why? Because they know the power of attention. They know that whatever they fix their eyes on externally or internally begins to form in their reality, and so they guard their minds, especially in volatile seasons. July 26 and 27 are not about hiding or escaping. They are about elevation, but you cannot rise if your mind is tangled in fear. You cannot ascend if your imagination is filled with doubt. You must clean the mental house before you try to move into the promise. These days are a test not of willpower, but of inner clarity. If your vision is muddied, your days will feel heavy. But if your vision is pure, even the storm will bow to your intention. You must learn to hold the vision of peace when all around you trembles. This is what separates the chosen from the common, not privilege, not perfection, just perspective. The chosen walk through fire with eyes fixed on glory. They stand in the wind with minds anchored in divine law. They bless their enemies, they declare abundance in famine, they imagine healing where others see only illness, because they know what you accept you attract. So reject the noise, refuse the fear, decline the panic, cancel every script that says you are weak, alone, abandoned, or doomed. This is not your story, this is not your ending. You are not at the mercy of the timeline, you are the author, and these dates, though loud with energy, must still submit to your decree. So decree only truth. Decree only victory, decree only alignment, and when others cry out, these days are cursed, you will whisper, not for me, because you did the inner work, you trained your mind, you sealed your gates, and nothing that knocks from the outside can enter without your permission. You are the gatekeeper, you are the vessel, you are the chosen. Seal your mind, anchor your thoughts, and walk in these days not as one hoping to survive, but as one expecting to reign, because the only real danger is unconscious agreement, and the only true protection is deliberate awareness. What you accept, you attract. So now, accept only the good, expect only the best, see only the victory, and let these days be not a warning, but a witness to your unshakable inner power. This is a passage, not a punishment. Transform or repeat. There comes a moment in every chosen one's journey where you are not being punished, you are being passed through. Not everyone will understand it, many will mislabel it. Some will call it attack, others will think it's karma. But what the spiritually awakened know is this: when the pressure builds, when life seems to close in, when odd events begin to converge around specific days, like July 26 and 27, it is not divine wrath, it is divine transition. It is not that something is going wrong, it's that something is finally shifting. These dates are not a curse, they are a corridor. They are a sacred hallway between who you have been and who you are being called to become. The world around you may interpret these dates with fear, suspicion, or superstition. The chosen do not view time the way the world does. To the chosen, these are not random calendar days to be endured. They are spiritual thresholds to be crossed with full awareness. They are invitations into alignment, tests of readiness, and mirrors reflecting your current level of inner mastery. You will either transform or you will repeat. That is the law, and this is what July 26 and 27 are here to expose. not what's outside of you, but what still lives inside of you, that lingering doubt, that hidden fear, that repetitive thought you haven't dealt with, that emotion you've been avoiding. These dates will magnify them, not to destroy you, but to draw them into the light so you can choose again. This is the great mercy of God. He never leaves you blind to your blockages. He allows them to rise not to shame you, but to free you, because you cannot heal what you will not face. You cannot ascend while still anchored to past cycles, and many are still repeating, not because the enemy is strong, but because they won't cross the passage. They fear the fire, so they sit in the smoke. They fear the shaking, so they settle for stuckness. But you, chosen one, are being called to more. You are being summoned not to run from these days, but to walk through them with purpose and poise. This is your passage. This is your opportunity to prove, first to yourself, then to the world, that you no longer live at the mercy of fear, that you are no longer driven by reaction, that you have trained your soul, anchored your faith, and sealed your identity in something deeper than appearances. These dates will not destroy you unless you give them the script. And how do you give them the script? Through unconscious repetition, through mental passivity, through emotional reactivity. If you face July 26 and 27 with the same old mind, the same old assumptions, the same old fears, you will get the same old results, not because time has power, but because you haven't transformed. God is not punishing you with cycles. He's revealing that you've not yet chosen the higher thought, higher vision, the higher state. The choice is always yours, always. Every passage has two exits, breakthrough or breakdown. Both look the same from the outside: intensity, pressure, unfamiliar emotions, strange encounters, sudden changes. But the chosen don't interpret pressure as punishment. They interpret it as preparation. They understand that no wine flows without pressing, no gold shines without fire, and no butterfly emerges without wrestling the cocoon. These days are part of your cocoon. They are squeezing out the old identity, the one that depended on certainty, on comfort, on control. That version of you cannot cross into the next season, so it must be dismantled. And when it begins to fall apart, your lower self will scream, "I'm under attack." But your higher self will whisper, "You're being set free. You're not being crushed, you're being carved, you're not being buried, you're being planted." And soon what the enemy meant for evil will be the very soil from which your purpose bursts forth. But only if you choose to transform. If you retreat mentally, emotionally, spiritually, then you stay locked in the cycle. The same month, the same fear, the same conversations, the same betrayals, the same confusion will return, disguised with different names but holding the same root. You must decide, will I pass through or will I loop? Again, God loves you too much to let you escape this choice. That's why July 26 and 27 have arrived. Not to destroy, but to demand decision. They are divine checkpoints asking you, have you truly let go of what you say you're done with? Are you living in a new identity, or just saying new words while holding old fears? Are you aligned, or are you still adjusting your truth to fit your circumstances? This is the moment of honesty, and it doesn't require perfection. It requires surrender. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just need to stop clinging to what no longer serves you. You must be willing to lay the old mindset on the altar and walk away without looking back, because if you bring it with you, it will infect your new season. Transformation is not a moment. It's a decision repeated in every thought, in every emotion, in every response. So when July 26 and 27 rise like waves, don't run, breathe, observe, choose again, choose peace, choose stillness, choose to act from the end, not from the fear. Chosen one, you are not the storm. You are the eye within it. You are not the victim. You are the visionary. You were never called to dodge pressure. You were called to command calm, and that calm comes not from the world, but from knowing that God walks with you even into the fire. He never promised no shaking. He promised no harm. The shaking comes to remove what is not of him. So let it fall. Let it go. Let these days break what needs to break so that what's unbreakable in you can rise. The version of you on the other side of this passage is stronger, clearer, and freer, but you must be willing to pass through. This is not punishment. It is purification. It is sacred shedding, and if you embrace it, not only will you transform, you will become a blueprint for others who are still trapped in fear. They will watch your peace in chaos and say, "What power is that?" And your life will become a message: I transformed, I didn't repeat. I passed through. That is your assignment, that is your moment, and these dates, July 26 and 27, are not here to stop you, they are here to crown you. So rise, chosen one, enter the passage, let the fire fall, let the illusions burn, and come out on the other side unshaken, unmistakably transformed, and undeniably chosen.